thank you for coming in today. We will be trying something a little bit different for the staff development. We will actually go over a book that I read recently called You Haven't Taught Until They Have Learned by Swen and Ronald Gallimore. Throughout this book, or as I go through this book, you may find something that you can relate to and you may find something that you can't relate to. But I encourage you to keep an open mind and try to relate it to your teaching experiences, your experiences with your students, and maybe, our experiences together. So let's get started. Teacher-student relationships are the foundation of effective teaching. So as we go through, or as I went through, these were some very important things that were stated by Swen. Setting challenging expectations matched to each individual's ability and personality. Getting to know each individual well enough to comprehend what each is capable of achieving. Truly caring about each as an individual person. Tailoring instruction and support of individual differences. And treating everyone with respect and fairness. And that is something that Coach Wooden definitely bought into. However, it was a little bit different than we see today. He bought into the earned and deserved approach of fairness. As we go through our educational lives, you have seen students come up to you and either tell you about experience with the teacher, saying, so-and-so is not being fair, or they're not treating me right, or how come I have to do this and somebody else gets to do that. So he took this approach a little bit differently. As he stated, I believe in order to be fair to all students, a teacher must give each individual student the treatment he earns and deserves. The most unfair thing to do is to treat all of them the same, Coach Wooden. Basically stating that not all students are the same. Here in this room, not all of us are the same. So why would we treat one student one way and then go through and think that applies to all students? It doesn't. In another excerpt, he states, I'm not going to treat you players all the same, talking to his basketball players. Giving you the same treatment does not make sense because you're all different. For that reason, each one of you deserves individual treatment that is best for you. It may take the form of gentle encouragement or something a little stronger. So I'm not going to treat you all the same, but I will give you the treatment you earn and deserve. Coach Wooden. Relationships are the end and not the means. As we went through, they talked about different methods of going through the relationships and building different relationships with your students, coworkers, anybody that you encounter. And the suggestion was, rather than beginning with relationship building, relationships evolve out of getting something done that everyone agrees is important to accomplish. So as we work together, what they suggest is for us to find a common goal and then grow from there, instead of starting the opposite way where we get to know each other and then find out what we have in common. Productive relationships and powerful learning communities are found in those situations where teachers and administrators set realistic goals to work toward, track their progress, and don't give up until they have found a way to help students learn better. So basically that is our goal as teachers and myself as an administrator. Just working together and making something achievable. We can all come up with a big list of things that we want to accomplish, but if they're not realistic and they're not feasible for us, for our group type, then what's the point? The motivation to learn comes from reaching your own potential. Coach Wooden states, success is the peace of mind which is a direct result of the self-satisfaction in knowing that you have made the effort to become the best of which you are capable. Basically stating, once you give it your best, that is all you can do. And when you have a student that that completes an assignment and gets a C on it, that is perfectly okay if they give it all they had. That standard may not be set for another student in your classroom, but let's say, they're struggling and at that point, the C is all that they can achieve to at the moment, but they give it everything that they have, then that is a moment of success. Coach Wooden goes on to discuss his own pyramid of success, and the way that he portrayed that to his students is not telling them, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to be successful, this is what you need to incorporate in your lives. He took a different approach in living what he believed. So he basically set the example. He led by example. He didn't have to tell the students what they had to do. He showed them through his actions with his players, with anyone that he interacted throughout the day. Things that he focused on with his team, industriousness, which is the hard work portion, enthusiasm, which is the genuine love of the sport, what he loves to do, conditioning, not only physically, but moral and mental, so basically knowing what is the right thing to do at what time, and then stress levels, game energy levels, different things like that. Skill, which is fundamental execution, which is basic skills, and then team spirit, which incorporated collaboration.